Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Duplex Built to Rent. My name is Juan Cristales, and today we're going to be talking about the number one reason why foundations fail here in the Texas market. Man, one of the craziest things when I first started buying real estate here as investment property, one of the things that I used to hear from agents very frequently was that we have gumbo soil in Texas. I've heard that phrase used a lot of times, and I didn't really know and understand what that meant. But I'm going to tell you, after having done a lot of foundation repair on fix and flips, what the issue has almost always been, like 99 times out of 100, the issue was water underneath the foundation. So I'm going to show you this quick video here. This is a property that we're doing right now. This is an old video, and this is the plumbing ground. So this particular duplex that we're doing is split left side, right side. Now, if you can see here, you have all of the plumbing that goes underneath the house, right? This is for all of the wastewater. And so what happens in the event of a foundation fail, normally we see that there's a lot of water standing underneath the foundation, and that makes the area really soft and moist, and just, the weight of the house and the sheetrock and the studs and the roof, it's a lot of weight to come to bear on these edges of the house, and really what causes foundation issues, just bad drainage. Now, it can either be bad drainage or some of these pipes are broken underneath. So one of the things that the city requires is an inspection at this particular point. So you see how these things are all capped off, and they are covered and taped up. So what happens is that the plumber, let me back this up, what he does is he fills this particular line right here all the way to the very top, right? All the way to the very top will make that color blue. So basically we have water all the way up here. So all of that pressure, what it does is forces the water into all of these pipes. Everything has to be filled up, and it forces water up and out, right? If there's a leak, you're going to be able to see it very, very easily. We want to make sure that it's a dry ground and stuff like that as well. It's not raining. You're not going to be able to pass the inspection if it's been pouring down rain. So that's one of the inspections that has to be done, and both sides have to do it, right? And so if you guys remember, we were talking about this particular property here, the same one, I'm showing you the same foundation. I'm sorry, the plumbing ground for the same house here. It's the same issue that we had here. Now, look, remember what I was telling you. Now, let me back this up just to make it clear. We passed that inspection first, right? All of the plumbing was holding water, right? No issues. The city inspector came out and they approved it. Now at this stage, we've already poured the slab. You can see here the concrete's already been poured. We have all of the studs in, so the walls are in. The electrical guy's starting to do some of his work. We have the tub in. So one of the things that we have to do is we fill the tubs, and I'm not sure why I didn't take a picture of it, but the tub has water in it. And it's marked, right? They mark it with something like a dry erase marker or something where it won't touch, but you can see if the water drops over the course of time, right? Very, very easy to see. And so what was happening is that this tub was not holding water. That's what I mean. It's not that the tub was leaking, it's that the plumbing underneath was leaking. And so by the time we had to scope it, right? We had to put in a camera down the drain pipes to look for where the problem was, where we had cracks or where we had issues. Personally, I think somebody tampered with it. We had to make some holes. So look, we had to drill through there. Be careful with the foundation, with the all the stuff that we were doing, and then find where these plumbing issues were. So it looks like there was another one there. And then we have another one here, a big one, where we found a plumbing leak right in this little area. So now you're going to sit there and ask me, well, Juan, how is it possible that you pass the inspection and now you're at this stage and we have to pass the same inspection again, okay? The same inspection, we have to pass it one more time. Excuse me, sorry about that. We have to pass the same inspection. You see there's water in this. You see how there's water there? So now this water needs to be held. This water should not be coming out right here. This is not normal. This is what we're trying to avoid. This automatically tells the city that we have a problem underneath the slab, but how? How do you see a little bit of water there? So we'll draw the line, and basically the city will we try to fill it to the very top, to the brim or whatever, and then just hold it, right? So how do you do it? There's a couple of ways that this can happen. one of the ways that it can happen is whenever these guys do the foundation. So let me show you real quick another quick video, another quick picture. Now I'm going to bring this one over here to show it to you. So you see here, all of the plumbing now has been covered, right? So we have the plumbing that is underneath, delineated by these yellow lines. So we're going to pretend these are the plumbing lines. Now that they're covered up, right? They're like this, all the way out to where they need to go. Utility room, bathrooms, all this other stuff. So the guys, they use a backhoe or some sort of a tractor thing here to do these cuts into it before this. This is just a preparation for it. Now, if they're not careful, they could potentially hit those lines and crack them. Okay, so that's probably what happened. Okay, somebody cracked them and they didn't say anything to anybody about it, which is obviously, problematic for me now. That is one potential issue. Another potential issue is that somebody did it on purpose, okay? Because we passed the inspection. So there shouldn't be a reason. This is the first time it's ever happened to me. I personally think somebody like was just, upset, sabotaged the plumbing themselves or whatever. But man, I'll tell you, contractors can be a very squirrely bunch. So, you know, uh, I'll tell you that you have to adhere. There's a leadership aspect to being a builder. There genuinely, really, truly is. Now, I called this guy out. I called him out. I sent him a message. I talked to him. And then I sent him the picture. I sent him a text message picture of what happened. And I said, hey, man, it looks like someone purposely came and did this damage to these pipes. Do you know anything about it? And he's like, nah, man, no, whatever. I did, I doing everything right, whatever. I said, look, man, I want you to know something. I am not playing. But if you come back around any of our projects, I'm going to call the police. I am not playing. There's going to be a problem. And he's like, are you threatening me? I'm like, bro, like, what are we, 15 years old? I'm just telling you, you're no longer invited to any of my projects. And it sucks, man. It sucks that you have to do that to people. You have to treat them like children. It's very, very unfortunate. But it's the truth, man. It's the way it happens. And like I said, you know, we are, at least I'm committed to telling you guys the truth about how these projects work and how everything happens. This little issue, we got it fixed. We got some other stuff that we needed to get done. And so we are taking care of that right now. I'm going to show you one more thing real quick. So now here, as you can see, we are now waiting for the inspection again. It's holding water. You see how everything down here is dry. So that's really good here because there's no water in here, right? This is what we're trying to avoid. So everything's going good on that. There was some windows here. If you guys remember, we had to cover those up, and we talked about that issue because of remember there was a window that was right there. I eliminated that window now. I had to talk to the city. I said, hey man, I made a mistake. And they're like, it's cool. They framed it in, put some thermal barrier behind it. Now, I have to give big props to Curtis. Curtis is the one. He's like, hey man, they make us do a thermal barrier thing over here between the insulation and the wall. And so I showed you guys a video of this last time. And so basically what we did is we had to take these out for a second and then put some thermal barrier in. So now you see how the windows have been covered in. So now this is the window area. We took off the tub surrounds, and then the thermal barrier goes on top of that to get a chance to stick around and wait for that to get done. But anyways, I just wanted to show you guys here. We're fixing everything. I take pictures. I document everything, guys, for the purpose of, like, I don't ever want there to be in the future someone to come back and say, hey, you didn't do it correctly. You missed this, you missed that, whatever the case is, because I just don't have time for that. I really genuinely don't have time for someone to then, question how we did our work and how the things got done. So I just go ahead and document it. Now we've passed the inspection here. All the plumbing ground is sealed and it all holds water. So everything's solid on that. These white pipes basically are the wastewater. These ones that go up on the walls are the vents. And so basically they get all filled all the way up, just to ensure that there's enough pressure into the pipe so that way there's no water coming out. So anyways, that's really all the updates that I got for this project, guys. We are moving along. We will have all of the thermal barrier behind this put up. Hang on a second real quick. So this is what I'm talking about here. This is what Curtis was referring to as far as the thermal barrier. So if you can see here behind this, this is structural. It doesn't have to be structural because it just has to be a moisture barrier. We do have on the outside of that, we have the plywood, the OSB, so that's structural. Sometimes the this thermal barrier stuff, they comes as structural or just as a weather barrier. So I researched it really well to make sure that we were doing the right thing. Thank you, Curtis. Thank you for pointing this out for me. This is an exterior wall. The reason why it needs to have moisture control is because what happens is we take hot showers like everybody does, right? Um, any of that excess moisture might get onto the insulation behind the wall and start creating a problem behind the walls here. And so basically, we're going to be putting this thing here all the way. It goes behind the tub all the way to where it meets, and then basically, that'll prevent any mold creation behind the walls and stuff like that. All right, guys, that's all the updates that I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you learned from this particular video. I know it's ugly. I know it's crazy sometimes that you have to deal with these situations and these problems, but hey, man, I'm not worried about it. We're going to keep moving towards this. The end of this project will have a significant amount of equity built into it. We're going to build it to rent, and it should be good to go. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. Talk to you soon.